Hi everybody, Rachelle Jones, lunch live at 11:45 Friday, the 20th of December. And I forgot my watch, so this thing is going to probably go off and pause us, which is an alarm to tell me I've got to pick up my child. I'm always meeting from my car before I pick up. I have one who has a minimum day every Friday, and so I just hang out with you guys in the car right before I pick her up. So today, hi, thanks for joining. So today, I actually had a request, which was really cool, for what we're going to be talking about. So we've been talking about love, unconditional love for ourselves and for others, and how it's really challenging. And it's not just this concept we start to understand, it's this work that we're going to do together in a class to arrive there. But it doesn't hurt to learn about it. It doesn't hurt to start hearing bits about it, because then we could evaluate and see where are we and could I use some room for improvement, right? Hi there, thanks for joining. So, which most likely all of us can use room for improvement. None of us were born perfectly knowing everything, and none of us were born putting, what happened there? I don't know. And none of us were born putting things into practice perfectly. Sometimes we need sort of like a coach or a specialist to help us do that. That's what I do. Okay. And my glasses are in the back seat. Well, whatever. Okay, so talking about unconditional love. Let's go back over the definition. Unconditional love for myself is the willingness and acquiring the ability to let myself make choices for myself without the need of the approval of others. That's unconditional love for myself. And then unconditional love for others is the willingness and acquiring the ability to allow others the right to make their own choices for themselves without insisting that they please me. Unconditional love for others and unconditional love for self. And so grief, so we have a couple definitions to get us started, right? Because we always have to go back over that. So grief is all the unsaid emotional communication. All the stuff that we don't say, we can't say, we choke down, we swallow, we bury. It doesn't go anywhere, guys. I just want you to know that grief keeps building until it squeezes out any possible space for you to have energy, to get up, to focus, to, it hits all of us differently. Because everyone says, oh, we all grieve differently. You're right, we all do. But we're all stuck in our grief in whatever different way it's going to be until we heal those old wounds. So just because we get up and keep going doesn't mean we've healed it. It just means we got up with our wound and kept going. If my arm is blown off in war, but I get up and I keep serving, I'm still got the wound. I'm just serving with the wound. And emotional wounds are invisible, so it gets really tricky. So remembering unconditional love for ourselves and others, and then grief is the unsaid emotional stuff. So I'm thinking about the holidays coming up, whatever holiday you celebrate, I believe they're all right here in the same window. And we get together. Here's how it goes. Usually, we get together for the holidays and something's different about them. Either someone's died, a relationship has ended or changed in some way, maybe through divorce or separation. Maybe we broke up, right? Maybe our kids are away at school and they couldn't get home for the holidays. Maybe our health is different. Maybe we're going through something really serious like cancer or, heart valve surgery or something like this. Something has changed. Someone's missing. The home is different. Money is different. Something is different, right? So we go into this holiday situation and something's different this year. And whatever it is for you, you have a right to have feelings about it. But here's the thing, when we go into the holiday season or the holiday situation, expecting it to look and feel the same, but there's this big gaping hole in it, something's different. But if we go into it expecting it to be the same, and of course it won't be the same with any one of those changes, it's certainly not going to feel the same. and it hurts, and we think, oh, this is awful, but we bury it down. We don't want to call out the big elephant in the room. And the grief recovery method, we call out the big pink elephant in the room. It's even bigger, right? And so we teach you how to talk, how to communicate, because grief is the unsaid emotional stuff. And so when you go through the holidays and you've got stuff that you just need to say, I miss this person. Man, this one really hurts. Oh, I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I thought it would, I didn't know it'd feel like this. I miss such and such. I feel sad. I feel just like I don't want to celebrate this holiday. It was really hard for me to be here with this one situation I have going on. Grief is all the unsaid emotional stuff. So what we need to do as we go into the holidays is we need to say something. We need to acknowledge something. Hi, thank you for joining. When we're all together with even one person, we need to practice saying something about what's currently going on, what the difference is, what the big elephant is. We need to say something. Now, if it's going to be a dig and it's going to be rough, probably not going to feel good, but we need to say something. It just feels so different this year. I really use the person's name who's missing. Their body might not be there. Their health may be different, but use their name. Okay? I really miss George. I really miss Sam. Okay? Tell your emotional truth. We've got to go into these holidays with a plan. If you just show up willy-nilly expecting it to just go how it goes, it's going to be even more painful. Show up with a plan. Your plan could be, I'm going to say that one emotional thing, you have to commit to total emotional honesty. And that's actually something we commit to in a class. But go into your holiday with a plan. Plan number 1, say that one thing. Call out that one elephant, even so gently, to someone who will listen. I miss Dad. I miss Mom. I miss the way it used to be. I feel sad for how it used to be, and now it's not there anymore. I feel sad that it'll never be like that again. You can choose one of those things. It might lead into 2. It might lead into a whole dialogue. You might find that there are people, hi Jones, thanks for joining. You might find that there's someone else in the room who also was feeling something, but they didn't know what to say. We've got to be willing to love others unconditionally by letting them say what they need to say without expecting it to please or satisfy me. But also, for me to love them unconditionally, I need to share my emotional truth with them. That's actually me loving them by sharing a piece of myself with them. And loving myself not only by sharing a piece of them, sharing a real emotional piece without the need of their approval. So I'm not going to share myself with them, I feel sad that it's never going to be the same, or I just feel sad that it's missing. It's different this year. Sharing my emotional truth without needing their approval. So knowing darn well and good, they may say something terrible. They may say something that is just not helpful. They may say something kind of dumb. They may say something super generic. They may just ignore it and change the subject. But I'm practicing loving them by sharing my emotional truth. And I'm practicing by loving them by letting them share their emotional truth with me. So do you see how love is very, very, very deep and wide, and it's not just this thing we do. It's actually very specific, and it's about emotional honesty. It's about truth. It's about sharing who you really are, even if it's just a little sip. I feel sad. This is really painful to be here at Christmas without that person. We're not loving people the way we think we are when we're afraid to share our truth with them because it might hurt them, because they might feel sad. Well, I don't want them to feel sad. I don't want them to get mad. I don't want them to, be hurt. I don't want to bring, a heavy weight into the room. It's already there. Everyone can feel it. So you love yourself and them by saying it out loud. Hi, thank you for joining. Does that make sense? It's very, very twisty, tricky. This love thing. It's not an accident. It's a choice and it's an action that you're going to put into practice. And in the holidays, it can be really tricky and messy, and we don't say what our emotional truth is. Just a sip. Now, when I say your emotional truth, don't attack people. It's your fault that X, Y, and Z. You should have done this differently. No. Sharing your emotional truth is simply how you are feeling, not what you are thinking. What you are thinking looks like an attack. What you are thinking, you should have. We go into the advice, the analysis, and the fixes. And that's always felt as judgment and criticism. Nobody likes to be judged. So, do we feel that? Also, another plan, number 2, so share your emotional truth. And then plan number 2 is change up the routine. If there's a big hole in what's normal for you, for your holiday celebrations or your holiday gatherings, change up the routine a little bit. So go in with like an activity, a new game, maybe you paint rocks, maybe you do art together, maybe you have a time of dancing or singing, or just like change it up. I know my specialist, she told me one time they all got together and she had the plan of, she hid small little Nerf guns all throughout her house, and eventually she just ripped them out and started a Nerf war fight. Little things, maybe you make an ornament, but use the person's name and do something different. Share your emotional honesty. A small little sip only about you, not you did, you said, nothing like that. It's only something about you and how you're feeling. So that's emotional truth. Number 1, plan for holiday seasons that are different. Number 2, do a different activity. Do something different than what you normally do, and allow yourself to cry. Just because you decide to do something different doesn't mean it erases what's missing. Again, if it's your emotional truth to cry for sadness, do it. If you're watching a movie because you've changed it up and decided to incorporate a movie into your holiday plan, and it's a sad movie and sparks a spot, you're allowed to cry. You're allowed to feel something. This is not to erase feeling. This is just to change what you always knew is familiar, because it's already changed. So let's intentionally create something out of it. Let's see, bring a new dish. Maybe you change the theme. Maybe it's always, steak and mashed potatoes and whatever it is. So maybe you make it an Italian night. Maybe you make it a down-home Southern comfort night, right? Southern comfort meaning food, not the alcohol. Maybe you have a holiday sweater day, or you create a sweater, or you do a craft. Do you see what I'm saying here? Go in with a plan. All right, so what kind of questions do we have here? I see, the anticipation. Thankful and prepared to get through all the emotional grief swirling around me. Good. Maybe, what does that mean for you? Does that mean you have a plan? Or did that just give you an idea to have a plan there, Cheryl? And does that mean you're willing to share at least a sip of your emotional truth with the people around you? Because that's you loving yourself, and that's you loving others by sharing yourself with them. So what does that mean for you? I'm curious about that, and I'm proud of you for looking like you're gearing up. You're ready to go. You're going to go do it. Let's see. Somebody else says, use the name knowing it will bring painful memories for other persons is hard. You're right. Using the name and knowing it's going to bring painful memories, you're totally right. But remember, we're not here to avoid pain. Our human experience is not to be solely to avoid pain. In fact, in our pain and sharing it emotionally, now that means you're going first. That means you're the leader. So good job. You're becoming a leader by sharing your emotional truth. But knowing that it might bring up pain for another person, then turn into the listener. You're sad too, huh? Simply say, thank you for sharing that with me. I wish I could make it better. I wish I could make it different. It hurts that I can't. Hug each other. And then just go about the next thing. You don't have to make it a deep, dark talk, but the fact that you shared your emotional honesty, you went first, you're sharing. You're loving yourself, you're loving them by sharing yourself with them, and then you're loving them by letting them share themselves with you, and it's this beautiful connection that gets to happen. But when we are afraid of our own pain or their pain or causing pain, when we're afraid of pain, usually we're afraid because we don't know what to do with it. So now you do. Share a little sip of your emotional truth if they share theirs with you. Just listen. Thank you for sharing that with me. Just tell them how you care. I wish I could change it and make it better. Let that be it. It's that simple. It really is that simple. And then take a breath, take a hug. I see here, being alone for the holidays is really difficult. Oh, sweet friend, I can't even imagine how difficult that is for you, especially when it's not a choice, right? Like some people are just, I'm taking this time to catch my breath. But when it's something we're sort of forced into and backed into a corner, it's so painful. And for you, I can't even imagine how intense that is for you in your soul. And send me a note through here on Instagram, and we'll just send a note back and forth so you can say your painful bit on social, or not on social media, but do it privately, and that way you get somebody to hear you if you don't have someone nearby. I will do that for you. I will make sure, with the intention of I have to be present for my family because that will cause grief inside of them. But know that you can send me a message here privately through Instagram or whatever means you have available to you, and I will send you a note back because being by yourself is so painful when you're not choosing it. So know that I see you and I hear you. I love you for that. Oops, I almost stopped. I will share my truth, and if needed, do work and speak to the Voxer man. Good job, Cheryl. Use that Voxer. I love my Voxer messages. Are so helpful for me. It may not be easy at first. My husband says it may not be easy at first, especially when others like to stuff. They like to stuff. And so this is not about us going into them and ripping stuff out of them. It is literally only about you. You're the only one in the room who you can help. Paused, but you're the only one in the room you can help and control. So it's about you practicing emotional honesty for yourself. Maybe they'll take the bait and join you and share a piece of themselves with you. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but it's not about you reaching into them and grabbing stuff out. Are you so sad? Are you missing them? Nope. It's about you going first, about your emotional honesty. You've got to tell the truth about yourself. Maybe they'll join you, maybe they won't. In my family, most people stuff, that's it. And it's actually very painful and challenging for me. But, I can't make them do what they do. But I will always go first. And I do it regularly, intentionally. I'm very focused on it. I don't care how they feel about it. I'm going to share my humanness with you. And if you decide to meet me, awesome. And if you don't, I'm sad, but that's fine too. So yeah, it may be really hard when people around you decide to stuff. Somebody says, I can imagine it would be, thank you for responding. Yes, I love when you guys start friending up around here. I wish I could change. I wish you two could be together. I bet you'd be amazing friends from the little bits I know of each of you. Wes says, but I like how you said not to attack and to be a good listener after. Thank you. That's important. And depending on the content, it can be really challenging. It can be really, really, really challenging. I am not a professional. I'm not perfect. I am a professional, but I'm not perfect as a human in my own life. I do get hurt too. Like I said earlier, I posted something about, I was with my son today in the, he had a follow-up. Remember, he broke his wrist around August. And so today was the follow-up to make sure it's all healed well and everything. It's, 35 minutes there and 35 minutes back for a 2.5 minute appointment, x-ray and everything. But from the back, I can hear a kid, it sounds like a teen boy, screaming and crying in pain. And everything in my soul was, I need to get there. And I just want to hug him, but that'll probably hurt him. But I don't even know what's going on. I could just hear the pain. When you hear it and you're like, oh God. And I'm starting to cry for someone I can't see. And I have no idea what's going on. You can just hear the pain. This doesn't mean I'm perfect in every moment. It means that I'm human in the moments, which means I mess up. And the more honest I get in my individual moments, the more freedom I have to say, I really screwed that one up. Shoot, I apologize. Let me try again, Let's see, my heart hurts for you. I agree, Jones. Can't, blah, blah. So, looks like that's everything. You guys, I sure love you so much. Thank you for spending your time here with me at Lunch and Live 11:45. Catch me on the replay if you need to, and put #replay because I like to know that kind of stuff. Of course, I post this on YouTube always or my Facebook page. You can follow me at both, so you can catch the replay very easily there. I just want you to know I love you. I'm thankful for you. I have a hard time saying happy holidays this year because I know for so many it isn't. It is not a happy holiday. For so many it's painful. So I'm just sending love to you for the holidays. I had the hardest time finding Christmas cards because they all say Merry Christmas. And I'm thinking, I don't want to send Merry Christmas or joy and peace to people who aren't feeling joy and peace and merryful. That's a word that my son would have just used because he makes up words, and I apparently am adopting that. So I just want you to know, I love you, and I understand that the holidays can be super painful. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. That means you're perfectly normal. And send me a note if you need to. And if I can't get back with you that day, I will do my best, but I might have to get back with you the next day. I love you. I see you. I hear you and your heart. And it's beautiful, even through the pain. Thanks for joining me, guys, for Friday Lunch and Live 11:45. Next week, I will not be in the car, so I probably will have a visitor with me. All right, guys. Talk with you next time. Bye, everybody.